So hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today in this video we're going to be continuing our interview questions that are coding related. So these are the questions that are going to be from the coding round, and this is going to be the day 2 of uploading and actually starting to solve and giving the solutions of these problems. So in the previous video we've left off with question number 2, so I'll just rename this file to question number 2 and I'll start uploading the files to the GitHub. It'll be really easy. So question number 2. This is the question 2. So in this video, now I'm going to be starting from question number 3. Initially, we're going to go from 3 all the way up to whatever the question that I get for you. So I'm researching a lot for you guys, and this course right over here, maybe this is a course. So this series is going to be significantly important for you guys. And also it's going to be fascinating because you guys will be able to learn different kinds of methods in JavaScript and the way to actually solve problems and how to approach them. That's the main thing, okay? So the first thing that I'm going to go is we're going to open this with Visual Studio Code. This is our code editor. Now make this in full screen. And then this index.js does not exist anymore, so we're making it exist now. So index. So we're going to go for the index.js. Now this is the file that we need to work with. It's taking a little bit of time to start up just because I have a lot of extensions going on over here, so it might take a bit of time. So first thing that we're going to go is I'm going to give you question number 3. So question number 3, what it says, I'm going to write in the numbers. I'll say, given an array, find, given an array of odd numbers, find the numbers missing in that array. So what am I talking about? What is the question telling? So first, the interviewer is going to go and give you a input. So the input is going to be, let's take an example. It says odd numbers, so 5, 7, 9, 11, and then we can go for 15 and 17 and then 19. So you might be thinking that why I left 13, because the 13 is going to be the missing number, or we can go with 15 instead. So I'll say 13 and then 15. So I need to find a missing number over here. We obviously know that the missing number is 15. So the output over here, I'll write it. Output is going to be 50. I want the output to be 50. So the first approach for anyone would be to go through this array. So first thing, we're going to use a loop. And in this loop, we're checking. So there's an order over here. There's an order, the numbers are being increased. So the first here, we see 5. 5 is being incremented by 2, and that becomes 7. And 7 is also being incremented by 2, it's becoming 9. So these follow, or these share a same pattern, same algorithm. So having the same algorithm, now what we find the numbers in that array. So what can we do is we can check if this 5 and this 7 gives us -2, then simply run. But if this 11 and 13 do not give us -2, then we know if 13 and 17 do not give us -2, then that we know that there's a missing number over here. So what are those missing numbers? How do we find that? So we've brought up our algorithm. So first we're going to go into the for loop here. So, but we can go for a function. We can take a functional approach. So I'll go for const, go for find missing numbers is equals to, now it's going to take an array. Okay, so I'll go for a for loop. I'll say for let I is equals to 0. I is less than the array dot length. Instead of taking this array, we can use ARR because it'll be great for us to use abbreviations instead of using the name So I'll go for I plus plus. And now what am I going to do is not use this tab 9. I'm going to be giving you my own solution. So I'm checking. If the array at the index I minus the array at the index plus 1. So it's checking. So if 5, 7, 9. So first it's checking with the index 0. So initially the value of I is 0. So it's taking up the 5 over here and it's checking. If 5 plus the index 0 plus 1 is obviously index 1, so it's checking 5 minus 7. If this returns as a value of minus 2, then we're going to go for array dot it's not array, it's array dot push. And then what are we doing here? We are going to go ahead and push the stuff. So what are we going to, okay, how can we push this? How can we know that what's the number? So to know the number, I'll say let missing number is equals to, okay, there might be several missing numbers, but we just want the first missing number. So we can go for find the first number missing in that array. So the first number missing in that array is going to be missing number. So we can go for array at the index we see right over here. Now first is checking if this returns a value of this or not, and if it does, we want to add that here. So first it's running, checking if and all that shit is working. Then okay, this is going to return true, and this is, oh, okay, I made a mistake. So I should write not equals to, because I'm checking if there's any kind of missing numbers. So if there's any problem with the arrangement of this is going to be executing. So if there's no, suppose let's take an example, it comes to the index of 13, so it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. If it comes to the index 4, it's checking index 4 minus the index 5. Now if it returns a negative 2 value, if it doesn't return a negative 2 value, that means we know that the array at the index needs to be incremented by 2. So we're going to go array.push, and we can go missing number over here. And then what are we going to do is now we need to sort it. So this is not sorted yet. So to sort this, what are we going to do is we're going for something like array.sort, and then I'm going to create a function that is going to compare. So I'll go for a compare function. If you don't know what a compare function is, you might watch my JavaScript for beginners tutorial. I've explained you much of that in that series. So I'll go for, okay, never mind. Compare is equals, it's a function, now it's taking A and B. Okay, it's not B, it's B. And then I'll go for return A minus B. So it's returning A minus B. So I'll explain it to you right now. So first it's taking the A. So let's take an example that A is this and this is 7. So first, when we subtract 5 minus 7, we get a negative value, right? So if we get a negative value, the number is going to go and come at the start. So it's what? Okay, let's take an example here. So the least number you get, the least value you get after minusing or after subtracting, that item is going to go and get returned first. So in this case, 5 is going to get returned first because it's the least number over here. So array.sort, and I'll go for the compare function over here. So this compare function is just going off right like that, and then I'll go and here what am I doing is I'm going to go and break. I need to console log the missing number here, so I'll say console instead of console logging. Okay, console.log a backtick the missing number is, and then I'll go for a $sign over here. I'll check the missing number. So missing number is right here. And I'll break this. So I don't need to run this anymore. I'll just simply break that. Okay, this is because of the tab 9 auto completion, just giving me a bunch of random stuff that I don't. So I'll return in this function. What am I returning? Returning the array. Okay. So now if I run this, I'll say find missing numbers. So I'll find missing, instead of numbers, we can go for number. And if I'm missing number, it's going to take an array. So the array is going to be our input. And then we need to console log this, because it's returning something, obviously. So we need to console log it. So if we console log that, and if you know, open up our terminal and say node index.js, then we can see that the missing number, it says missing number is 19. So what's the problem over here? It should say that the missing number is 15. So what's the problem over here? Let's check. So first it's going and saying that array at the index. Okay, we're checking something out here. So 17 plus. Oh, it's okay. It's +1 only. So what's the problem? Array at the index minus array at the index. If it is an odd equals to -2, we can go for the missing number is blah blah blah. We can go missing number is the index plus index I plus 2, and then we're comparing this with a sort operator, and we're consoling the missing number is that. Okay, wait, let me go and put this right over here. Okay, let's go ahead and visualize this on our mind. So first it's index 0, and index 0 minus the index 1. So if I minus sum n is equals to -2, and it's simply 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, wait. I'll return this array over here. It's just running one time, so it's not gonna run multiple times. So what index fetches? It says that is 19 only. The missing number is 19, 17, 18, 19, 13, 14, 15. It should be 15 over here. But what's the problem? Let's try to find that. And this is what it says. It's running to the array.length, and first it's going to check if this statement comes true. Now the index becomes 1, and index 1 plus this is also equals to -2. It's not going that, and it's checking if 11 and okay, 9 minus 11 is -2, and then 11 minus 13 is also -2. But 13 minus 17 is not -2. So what's it checking is, first is going for this array index plus 2. And then it's console logging the missing number is this array.push, and it's pushing the missing number. And then it's comparing this, and it's sorting out that stuff. So what's the reason for this not working is, the output should obviously be 15, so we know that. You know how it's going to be. So what if you take an example here? Instead of 11, we give 13. We give like 15 over here, and then not give 13. Okay, not give 13, I said. So now, first thing we're gonna check, it says the number is 17. Whoa, man, that's wild world. Oh, wait, no. I made a mistake over here. It's not index. We're adding the index over here, so it should not be the index. It should be the number itself. And it says the number is 13, obviously. So we can go and remove 15 over here, and we can add 13 instead. And then now if I save and run this, it should be 15, because the missing number daddy over here is actually 15. So that is how this works over here. So I'll just explain it to you. first we're running a loop that is going to run till the length of this, and then we are checking each time. So each time we are checking if the index is if index minus the index plus 1 is equals to -2, if it's not equals to -2, then we're simply letting a array index, which is obviously going to be, in this case, 13, and 13 plus 2 is obviously 15. So it's console logging the missing number is missing number. So in the previous case, what we did is we actually returned the number that was in the index. So in this index right over here, so it's going initially going 13, and then 13 plus index 2 is obviously 19. So it was returning 19, but we debugged that successfully. So there was a little confusion. I actually got this question myself, and I didn't actually prepare a solution set for this. I did it myself right now, so it's kind of a blunder. It's not a blunder, it's a short mistake that we made. So it's question number 3. So we're moving now to question number 4. Index.js. So now this question is really interesting. It's fascinating. You will love this. Even if you don't love this, your money or your time is not going to be wasted. It's going to be really useful for you. So, okay, I'll write the question out for you. So, given an array, there are 3 objects. So given an array, there are 3 objects. So let's write this. So it says people, and it's going to be a people array. And inside of array, we have 3 objects. So the first containing name of Alice, and then the age of 21. And then the second here, we can go for the name. We can go for Bob, and then we can go for Charlie, and the age, let's say 21. Alice, Bob, and Charlie. So I need to put a comma in between these, so you can see that. Okay, given an array of 3 objects, we can given an array provide us with the common age. Provide us with the common age and create an okay, let's go for create an object, have the value of age as the key, and the value of the objects having the same. What is this? What am I writing? So, okay, this is a long question. Okay, let's read it word by word. Given an array, there are 3 objects. So you can see that there are 3 objects. Provide us with the common age. So in the case, age is 21. So this says us to provide a common age and create an object which should have the value of age. So that means the value of age you see right over here, the value of age as the key. So what am I talking about? So I'll just simply give you a brief stuff right over here. So it's simply going to be something like this. So it's an array. Now in this array, we're having something like, okay, let's give it an object. Now this object is going to have a 21, and then in this 21 we are having an array, and then it should have name Alice, and it should have the age, which is 21. And then at the next we should have another object which has the same age, and it's going to be Charlie, and the age of Charlie is also 21. And then we're going to go for another array, and it's going for the age of 22. Okay, this auto completed for me, but that is not good. That is not right. It should be only one here. So it should be sorted like this. That is how you need to do it, okay? There's no cheating involved. And this, you don't need to cheat. It's just really easy and common. So no cheating, okay? Just try to solve it on your own. Don't look at the video. That's the thing. Don't look at the video. Okay, now this should also be an object first. So I'll go for a object here. So okay, that is. So we want this. So in this 21, you see, right? So this 21 should contain the age, the person having the same age. So in this 20, the common age is 21. So the ones that are having the age of 21, it should basically have the property. So I cannot set that to string for a reason. So I don't want to do that. So how do I do that? So to do, it's really easy. It's really easy. What am I talking about? So I'll just give you an example. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a function. So I'll say const group by age, and then it's going to be a arrow function. Now it's not taking in any kinds of input, but it should have taken any kind of input given, but we don't want to do that. Okay, but okay, wait, we can take an input. We can take an item input. So now what we can do is start by a if. We can create an object. Okay, we can create an object. So I'll go for let check is equal. So it's the check official check. So this is going to be our new object right over here. And then what are we checking? So we're checking if the check and the item dot age. So if this exists over here, if this if this doesn't exist, that means we need to go and check for the item dot age and do this here. So I'll explain what am I doing over here. So I'll go for a else statement. I need to go for check, and then we can go for item dot push, and then what are we doing is we're returning the check. So this is a really simple approach. We're taking in a check object over here. In this check object, what are we going to do is we're simply checking if the name item.age exists. So it's telling that if it has the key of 21, if it doesn't have the key of 21, then simply create a key of the age and then insert the item that matches it. So that is how cool it is. That is how easy. So if it doesn't exist, then we can simply go for check and the item dot age, which is going to be 22, and then it's going to push the item, which is the name right over here. So that is how cool it is. So what are we going to do? Now, we cannot simply run this like this, okay? We cannot simply run this using the item as a parameter over here. We can use this inside of the for loop. So what we can do is we can go for item dot for each. We can use a for each loop, and then this it's going to be a item, and then I'll add the for array over here. Now this code you see right over here, it should be inside of the thing. So I'll cut this code and I'll paste it. So yep, for each it's checking the item, and then if item.age is existing, then it's gonna go ahead and push that age with the respective item, which is 22 Bob here. And if it doesn't exist, then it's going to go ahead and put all the remaining item. So we can better view this in the console.log, and then I'll go for group by age. It's the function. Now, if I run that, okay, what it says? Item is not defined. Oh, it's not item, it's array. and then I need to pass in the array as well, so it's going to be people. Okay, now you can see that the common ages is 21 and then it's 22, right? So that means the common age right over here is going to go and separate that into this 21 key, and in this 22 key we have Bob with the age of 22. So what it's essentially doing, I'm explaining it to you, I'm going to explain it to you again. So it's checking on the array, it's running a loop, and it's running a loop for the length of the people. So it's 3, it's running 3 times, and it's checking. Now first, what is it checking? It's checking a condition. So this condition is going for a object. So inside of the object, if there's no keys as 21, then simply go for a 21 key and then push in the item that has the age of 21. That is it. And then it's checking else statement, it's checking the item age, and then it's pushing the item back into that. So how cool it is. Okay, so this is how cool and fascinating JavaScript could be if you really understand and go through the deep and dive into the concept. So there was a bit of flaw in this. It should not be an array, it should be an object. So I made a mistake over here, but you really need to forgive me for that. But this is all it about today's video. I've explained you 2 of the questions. Now we're going to be continuing this series, and if you give me much more support, I'm going to be more excited and motivated to make videos for you daily. And then this is it for today. I'll see you in the next video. If you've not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe it. And if you enjoyed this video, I hope you would like this video and join our Discord server. So I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care everyone, and bye-bye.